to graphs and charts. Excel 2010 allows users to create and edit graphs. In computer science, a graph is an abstract data type that is meant to implement the graph and hypergraph concepts from mathematics. Wikipedia.
On this section, I still believe we can add just a picture of a graph here. It could be just maybe a picture indicating the various types of a graph, maybe a normal bar graph, a pie chart, and a stacked graph, just to indicate what we're talking about. The voice, just as mentioned previously, that it still needs to be changed. I think what we can do is just make it more natural and give it a little bit of speed, so at least when the person is reading, it'll be Excel 2010 allows users to create and edit graphs. In computer science, a graph is an abstract data type that is meant to implement the graph and hypergraph concepts from mathematics. Wikipedia. So at least if the voice is a little bit fast but also more natural, I think that would respond to their queries.
A graph data structure consists of a finite, and possibly mutable, set of ordered pairs, called edges or arcs, of certain entities called nodes or vertices. As in mathematics, an edge, x, y, is said to point or go from x to y. The nodes may be part of the graph structure, or may be external entities represented by integer indices or references.
Here, I don't think we need to add any picture here. I think this section is fine. It's just the voice that still needs to be improved.
A graph data structure may also associate to each edge some edge value, such as a symbolic label or a numeric attribute, cost, capacity, length, etc.
Onto this section, my belief is if we have that graph and stuff, we can just detail it to put two graphs, one which speaks in respect of numbers or maybe months, one which speaks in respect of maybe amounts or something, just to indicate what it is they're talking about onto this section here. And then I think we also need to have a tab. I think on our normal courses online, we have a feature here that tracks progress. So ultimately, when a person completes, it should basically be able to tell them section what of what, where it shows here at the top, or it could be maybe at the bottom here. So that would basically give us, I think, a better understanding of how a person is progressing as they move along into the course.
There are a number of graphs in use, but for the purpose of this course we shall limit ourselves to the following. Click on each tab to find out more.
In fact, since all we've got them here, then there's no need for that part where we need to have types of graphs, because here they are appearing. So I think we are pretty okay. This is really great.
Pie chart. The pie chart is actually a very clever visual design that conveys one fact above all others with a minimum of visual cues, that the circle, the pie, represents some kind of whole, which is made up of the slices. Add up.
Over here, the lady, as she reads, she says pie chart instead of pie chart. So I think, of course, changing the voice and maybe making it more natural, that would definitely ultimately help and give a bit of keep the interest of the students.
Bar graph. Bar graphs are suitable when we want to compare quantities in different categories. Bar graphs use spaces between the bars to distinguish the categories. The heights of the bars across the vertical, or occasionally, horizontal, axis allow us to compare the value of the categories. These values may represent frequencies, sums, averages, or even percentages. Example, the heights of the bars in the example below allow us to compare rainfall amounts, in centimeters. Dot.
So this part, I'm happy with it. You'll see that they're explaining what a bar graph is, and it's also indicated on the side, which is, I think, very effective for learning and stuff. So we can just say, here maybe with this X, we can just say, click here to go back, just to indicate, because this X alone, certain people might not see it, so we can just say click on the X to go back, and then they'll come and click here to actually go back and review all these other parts. I see that we've also got a pie chart here just as an indication of this. So for me, this section is actually great in terms of, because we're just explaining what, the different types of charts. So I wouldn't say we need to have many changes going on here, but in each and every section where we have these things represent these tabs here, it means we need to at least have an indication with an X, which also explains click here to go back, so that people are able to go back to come here and then go on to the next thing, type chart.
Activity 1. What is a graph? Give 4 examples of graphs and explain their purposes.
On the activities, it is great. I don't know if we could have a section within the learning portal just over here. When we're giving them this, we have, of course, a section here where they are able to answer these questions themselves, especially these theory-based questions where they're able to answer these questions. What is a graph? Then maybe here we give them space where they can answer, give 4 examples of graphs and explain their purpose. We also give them a space or section for them to answer. This something will also speak to their simulations as well as just assessments, having assessments on each where learners can actually track their progress and understand what it is that they still need to do and stuff. So I think this is something that we can look into and ensure that we add there.
A chart is a tool you can use in Excel to communicate your data graphically. Charts allow the audience to see the meaning behind the numbers in the spreadsheet, and they make showing comparisons and trends a lot easier. In this lesson, you will learn how to insert and modify Excel charts and see how they can be an effective tool for communicating information. Identifying the parts of a chart. Have you ever read something you didn't fully understand, but when you saw a chart or graph, the concept became clear and understandable? Charts are a visual representation of data in a worksheet. Charts make it easy to see comparisons, patterns, and trends in the data. The typical chart, or graph, in Excel 2010 comprises several distinct parts, including the chart area, data series, axes, legend, plot area, grid lines, data markers, and more. The following list summarizes the parts of a typical Excel chart, some of which appear in the illustration.
So over here, for me, it's truly great. It's quite exceptional. You look at the fact that they're talking about working with charts and identifying the different chart parts. So people are able to see here which parts of a graph they're talking about, and they can relate this maybe to their working environment, or they can relate this to their own work. So for me, this definitely works wonders because it just gives an indication as to what they're talking about when you're speaking about a graph and stuff. And these, let me just quickly also check onto these. I see here there's an instruction, click on each number to see the steps, which is truly great. It's a clear instruction in terms of what they have to do from here onwards.
Chart area. Everything inside the chart window, including all parts of the chart, labels, axes, data markers, tick marks, and other elements listed here.
Here also my hope is that we would at least have a picture of the chart area itself. We could have just maybe a picture from anywhere else online and then just have it added here onto the chart area. That for me I think would still also work quite wonders. I know they're explaining them, but imagine if they're talking about a chart area and then you're able to see it here, just like in the previous slide where they were talking about charts and the different parts of the charts, and we're able to actually see a picture that demonstrates which of these parts they're talking about.
Data marker. A symbol on the chart that represents a single value in the worksheet. A data marker, or data point, may be a bar in a bar chart, a pie in a pie chart, or a line on a line chart. Data markers with the same shape or pattern represent a single data series in the chart.
This also still the same. It would be that we at least have a picture here that shows the highlighted data mark. We could have a picture here indicating a data mark. That would definitely help.
Data series. A group of related values, such as all the values in a single row in the chart. A chart can have just one date axis. A line that serves as a major rep tick mark. A small line, plot area. The area where Excel plots your data, grid lines. Optional lines extending from chart text. A label or title that you add to the chart, legend. A key that identifies patterns, colors, or symbols associated with the markers of a chart data series. The legend shows the data series name corresponding to each data marker, such as the name of the blue columns in a column chart.
So from the picture that we saw in the beginning of this lesson, which talks about charts, that picture has all these areas or parts of a chart that they're talking about. So we can have the same picture repeating itself where on every of this, on each of this is just legend and it's explained. Just next to it is that little, I think, a picture there where they can still go down and see, oh, this is what they're talking about when they're talking about a legend. This is what they're talking about when you're talking about series. This is what they're talking about when they're talking about a label. So it would help to, as and when they read, they are also able to see, the various indications that these people are talking about what they are trying to explain. So that picture can repeat itself along all these sections, knowing that they can just easily pinpoint as to what a legend is or what a legend is, and also see where a legend is within a graph, what an axis is, and see where an axis is, what a chart area is, and where a chart area is within a graph or within a chart.
Creating a chart. Charts can be a useful way to communicate data. When you insert a chart in Excel, it appears in the selected worksheet with the source data, by default. Select the cells that you want to chart, including the column titles and the row labels. These cells will be the source data for the chart.
Over here, this is great in the sense that they already have a table that comprises of data. So for me, this is just basically great in the sense that we have a step, and we also have, I think, a picture there that indicates what they mean by selecting all the cells that you desire to actually insert a graph to.
Click the Insert tab.
So here I would wish that we could also just give an indication of where the insert tab is. So just give them an indication of where the insert tab is, where it's a picture and it shows that insert tab section.
In the charts group, select the desired chart category, column, for example.
Okay, so basically I think step 2 has been covered. If you look at the insert tab here, they've actually indicated it, which is, I think, great. It's something I was ultimately looking for. So if I'm a learner and I'm going through this myself, I'll know that I have to first select my data and then click on the insert tab, and then under the charts group I will then go and click on the desired chart type. So for me, this is still really, really, really great. I don't see a challenge here.
Select the desired chart type from the drop-down menu, clustered column, for example.
See, so this is also still great. It gives an indication of what to do, how to do it, what to do, and how to do it. And the other thing is that what we could also do at the end is that these people need to insert also their own charts in their own Microsoft Excel and stuff. So they just basically have, so it's recommended, at least we put a recommendation to say it's recommended to have Microsoft Excel open while lest you do this course. So they know that ultimately, as and when they pass through these stages, they are basically able to go back and insert these things, because we can't embed Microsoft Excel into this learning portal, but they have Microsoft Excel Office, a program onto their computer, so they can simply just navigate to their Microsoft Excel and then open that. So they can basically have two screens open here, where you can have this just half indicated here, and then you could also have Microsoft Excel appearing for you onto the other side. So this basically would then give you an indication of what to do in Microsoft Excel. So if I have something of this nature, it makes it easier now for me to follow in terms of what to do. If you're talking about inserting highlighting or selecting, I'll basically come here and select, and then I'll go and click on the insert tab. From the insert tab, I then go to charts, and then you see a drop down arrow. It shows me the very same thing that's happening on the right hand side. So the recommendation is that as and when they do this, especially when there's practicality involved, they need to have Microsoft Excel opened on the other side, so that they can practice these things as they learn these steps.
The chart will appear in the worksheet.
Over here, then we should also just give them a picture of a full chart or pie chart, or whatever type of a chart it is that is actually appeared, because it's saying the chart will appear in the worksheet. So it should be able to just indicate that a chart has been created there.
On the Insert tab, in the Charts group, do one of the following. Middle dot, click the pie chart, and then under Chart subtype click Pie of Pie or Bar of Pie. Middle dot to see all available chart types, click to launch the Insert Chart dialog box, and then click the arrows to scroll through the chart types. For a quick preview of the chart you are creating, click press and hold to view sample.
So on this section, it is quite okay. I think, like I mentioned, the manner in which the woman reads these statements can sometimes be a little bit, I think, robotic, as they mentioned. So this is just something for us to look out for as we proceed with this.
Click Next and continue with steps 2 through 4 of the chart wizard.
So it's great to always have, you see, pictures on the right hand side, at least indicating what's happening. People get understanding.
Chart tools. Once you insert a chart, a set of chart tools, arranged into 3 tabs, will appear on the ribbon. These are only visible when the chart is selected. You can use these 3 tabs to modify your chart. To change the chart type. From the Design tab, click the Change Chart Type command. A dialog box appears.
This is what I was talking about. I think here it's, the steps are great in the sense that they also have these pictures here indicating what's going on, indicating what's happening.
Select the desired chart type and click OK.
Yes. So my thinking around here also was more on ensuring that we can also add maybe videos. We can look for videos from YouTube or wherever, which can come in as external or maybe additional material where we can have, a link of an embedded video where a person can come in and just basically see how to insert a chart. So at the end of each topic, if it's talking about charts, we just say how to insert a chart, and then we just click here for more resources. Then we have a link of a video that demonstrates how a person can insert a chart. When they click on it, it ultimately just opens that YouTube video for them. They are then able to just watch that video demonstrating to them as to what's the process for inserting a chart in this essence.
To switch row and column data. Sometimes when you create a chart, the data may not be grouped the way you want it to be. In the clustered column chart below, the book sales statistics are grouped by fiction/non-fiction, with a column for each year. However, you can also switch the row and column data so that the chart will group the statistics by year, with columns for fiction and non-fiction. In both cases, the chart contains the same data, it's just organized differently. Select the chart. From the Design tab, select the Switch Row or Column command. The chart will then readjust.
So this, you see, these steps for me are more or less straight to the point forward. A person doesn't need to go back and forth and trying to understand this. It's very, very straightforward in terms of how this process is done. So already I can see elements that have responded to what the City of Cape Town has requested in terms of how their Scorm should look like, where in which they needed instructions or steps that indicate how these things are done. So one thing that we still need to keep in mind is just that at the end of each one of them, we could have that activity just indicating or asking them to actually do this on their own and stuff.
To change the chart layout, select the Design tab. Click the More drop-down arrow in the Chart Layouts group to see all of the available layouts.
See, this is still, of course, still the same. It has steps, it has instructions in terms of what to do, where to go, and it's also supported by pictures.
Select the desired layout. The chart will update to reflect the new layout. Some layouts include chart titles, axes, or legend labels. To change them, just place the insertion point in the text and begin typing.
This for me is great. This part of working with charts, it has also just been something that is demonstrated by steps. So I think I'm very, very happy with how it appears and how the instructions are
To change the scale of the vertical value axis in a chart. In a chart, click the value axis that you want to change, or do the following to select the axis from a list of chart elements. Click on the Format tab. In the current selection group, click the arrow next to the Chart Elements box, and on the Format tab, in the current selection group, click Format Selection. In the Format Axis dialog box, click Axis Options, and then do one or more of the following. Important. The following scaling options are available only when a value axis is selected. To change the number at which the vertical value axis starts or ends, for the minimum or maximum option, click Fixed and then type a different number in the minimum box or the maximum box. To change the interval of tick marks and chart grid lines, for the major unit or minor unit option, click Fixed and then type a different number in the major unit box or minor unit box. To reverse the order of the values, select the values in reverse order checkbox.
This section, I feel this section could also use maybe a picture, just demonstrating those steps, or just, a picture or instruction that just shows how this is done. It might be, of course, a little bit complex for people that have not been introduced to Excel to understand what is going on. So I think this particular section may require, of course, for us to have a thingy, pictures just that indicate these steps.
How to change the chart title. To change the title of your chart, the circles surrounding it, once your title is highlighted, you can change it by simply typing a new one. While the title is highlighted, you can select a different font and font size, if you want, on the home panel in the Excel ribbon at the top.
This is also straightforward. No need to change anything here. It just seems straightforward. I believe in all because I've looked at all the Scorms as well. The main general thing to look into is just the voice. To ensure that wherever there's steps, they're supported by pictures showing what to do. Then also ensuring that we have activities on each of, after each and every topic we have activities. It could be multiple choice, it could be asking open-ended questions where they are responding. We also have a part where at the beginning of every topic, we have the thing which says it's recommended to have Microsoft Excel opened or launched in your computer, so that they know that they can actually, as they learn this, they can actually practice it onto their Microsoft Excel program. Those are the four things that I've seen that are quite vital and very important for us to look into.
To change the chart background. Format the background of a chart by showing or hiding the chart wall or floor with a default color fill, or by changing Change the chart background. Select the chart element you want to modify. Click the Layout tab under Chart Tools. Click any of the following buttons. Plot. In the Format Chart Area dialog box, click 3D Rotation or 3D Format in the left pane. Select the 3D options you want, and then click Close.
This is very specific and straight to the point. See, it's got pictures that support the statement on the left-hand side, which is, for me, a great indication of, us being able to respond to that request of are there steps to people understand if they are learning on their own. And of course, this responds to that.
Enhancing a chart. If you insert a picture, shape, or text, select the chart element you want to modify. Click the Layout tab under Chart Tools. Use any of the following. Middle dot picture. Click the picture button, select a picture, and then click Insert. Middle dot shapes. Click the Shapes button, click a shape, and then drag to draw the shape. Middle dot text box. Click the text box button, drag to create a text box, and then type the text you want.
So here, one thing I'm realizing is that since all the visibility of these pictures is kind of affected because they're small, we need to also just have an instruction here that says click here to view the picture. To zoom in the picture, so a person can actually just click on the picture and the picture appears, it just becomes a little bit more visible for them. This is something that we need to indicate onto these sections as I know there's a little arrow there, but we can of course just give an instruction, you say click on the picture to zoom, and then it can zoom out the picture for them. it will be, I think, a great
Use the
deal
Format
there.
tab under Drawing Tools to format the shape or text box. To change the chart style, select the Design tab. Click the More drop-down arrow in the charts. Select the designs. The chart will update to reflect the new style. You can move a chart to any location on a worksheet or to a new or existing. Move a chart within a worksheet. Select a chart you want to move. Position the mouse pointer over a block to move the chart to a different worksheet. Select the Design tab. Click the Move Chart command. A dialog box appears. The current location of the chart is selected. Select the desired location for the chart, that is, choose an existing worksheet, or select New Sheet and name it. Click OK. The chart will appear in the new location.
This also still straight to the point. I'm happy with it. I wouldn't change anything here.
Resize a chart. Select a chart you want. Position the mouse point. Drag the handle to the new charts. Release the mouse button. Or, to resize a chart, do one of the following. Middle dot, click the chart, and then drag the sizing handles to the size that you want. Middle dot on the Format tab, in the Size group, enter the size in the Shape Height and Shape Width box. Tip: for more sizing options, on the Format tab, in the Size group, click to launch the Format Chart Area dialog box. On the Size tab, you can select options to size, rotate, or scale the chart. On the Properties tab, you can specify how you want the chart to move or size with the cells on the worksheet.
Yeah, I'm very happy with how these lessons are actually structured and the steps in terms of how they're structured. The only thing that I think we could look into, which is I think ultimately going to respond to that issue of eliminating the need for an instructor, is that should they have questions or maybe not be able to understand the steps in the manner in which you've put them, the best way would be to have those videos where after if we're talking about resizing a chart, just have a link embedded within this section where when they click on the link, it just directs them to a YouTube video that shows them how to resize a chart. That is ultimately what we can do, which will be more cost effective for us because we will not be taking videos that were done manually and embedding them here, but it's a matter of embedding links that we would have sourced out from additional data and stuff and material as well as additional sources. So for me, that would definitely respond to this.
Deleting a graph. Activity 2. Use the company sales workbook or any other workbook to complete this challenge. Use worksheet data to create a bar and pie and line chart. Edit the graph title, axis titles, data labels and background color. Change the bar chart to a column chart. Move the bar chart to a different worksheet. Move the pie chart to a different spreadsheet file. Resize the column chart. Delete the line chart. Apply a chart style. Move the chart to a separate worksheet. Save your spreadsheet.
So with this section, especially of the activity, one thing I'm seeing here is that we need to also ultimately allow them an option where they can upload what they would have done. So at least have a final project for this this chapter, where they, once they are done with this, they can at least maybe have an option where they can actually submit it from. And since always saying use the company sales workbook or any other, we can have that workbook thingy embedded onto this here. Just when they click on it, it just ultimately opens up that workbook for them, and they're able to then work from that and actually apply all these things. Then once they're done, they upload it onto this part of the thing, the activities.
If you have data from an alternative, how to import data from external source. Open the work. Click the date. Click from browse to the text him. Select a preview and click next. Select a preview of the you now need. Once you have select where your imported data will now appear in your selected worksheet. Results after importing the text file.
This is also great. Ultimately, all these steps have pictures. They're supported by pictures, which is great. Only thing we need is just to add a video, then we are done. That's all we need to do. Just add a video on how to import data from an external source into Excel. Then we know that they've got the option for this. They've also got the option of learning that.
Activity 3. Import data from micro. You can insert or copy pictures and clip art into an Excel worksheet or a PowerPoint. Activity 3. Import data from Microsoft Word and insert it in a worksheet. The data must be in the form of a table. Before importing, check if the data is compatible with Excel.
This also, we can of course give them a part where they can actually upload the imported data. So the project that they would have done, they would of course have an opportunity to upload. While this keeping in mind, a person should be able to see, you can see I'm already nearly on the last section. A person should ultimately be able to see that maybe they are on 98 or maybe they are on 80 something off, whatever the total number of the lessons are. That gives a great indication of how many sections they are left with.
You can insert or copy pictures and clip art into an Excel worksheet or a PowerPoint presentation from many different sources, including downloading from a clip art website. Insert clip art. Open the spreadsheet that you on the Insert tab. In the clip art task, click Go. In the list of results, click the clip art to insert it.
Still lesson 4 in terms of inserting and editing objects. For me, it's still straight to the point, and it's very clear. No changes needed there.
Insert a picture from a file.
This I'm also assuming would be the same process, just pictures. Not pictures, but videos. If we have videos in place, it makes the
Click
process
where you
very
want
easy.
to insert the pic. On the Insert tab, locate the picture to resize a picture, select the picture. Insert an auto shape to your spreadsheet. On the Insert tab, click the shape, release the mouse button. To copy and paste an object, select the object you wish to copy. Click the copy command. Select the cell or cells. Click the paste command. The copied object will be entered into the highlighted cells.
Still straight to the point, wouldn't change anything there.
To cut and paste an object, select the click the cut, select the cell, click the paste command. The cut object will be removed from the original cells and to resize an object. Step 1. Select the object, for example, a picture in active work. Step 2. Right-click the selected picture and select the format object item in the Step 3. Step 4. Step 5. Click OK. Now the picture in active worksheet is resized.
Still very straight to the point, wouldn't change anything.
Drawing an object in a spreadsheet. From the Excel ribbon, locate the Shapes panel. On the Shapes panel, under Basic Shapes, 5. Hold 6. Hold 7. You locate Shape Fill on the shape. Select a color for your triangle. You will also want to select a shape outline. Underneath Shape Fill, select the same color as your fill, and your triangle will look something like this one.
Still, this is straight to the point. Very, very, very simple for me. A person would be able to understand this. I, however, would still insist that we have videos. That's the only thing. We don't need to really change much, but make those few additions, then have videos embedded to the sessions. I've looked at all the Scorms that have been sent, and it seems to me that this is what this is the closest we've gotten. We just need to, of course, make those minor adjustments.
Activity 4. Middle dot insert pictures from clipart into Excel spreadsheet. Middle dot insert images from my pictures into a worksheet. Middle dot copy and insert a picture from the internet into a worksheet. Middle dot insert an auto shape into a worksheet. Middle dot change the size of the pictures, images and auto shapes. Middle dot use the drawing tool to draw an object in your spreadsheet. Middle dot save. Well done. We have come to the end of the course. Click on the exit arrow button to exit.
In the end, I'm not sure in terms of the assessment process that would take place, but we need to have at least an option for downloading the certificate, where a certificate can come out automated, and the person can simply just download the certificate after completion and stuff. So once they click this, they should maybe an option for the click complete. Then once they click complete, it'll then finish course. Then it should also just give them an indication of immediately once they say finish course, take them to a different section where they can download the certificate and then exit the program. And then over here, it should then say 100 of 100. or 100% complete.